Hello students, this is your teacher Manish, and in continuation with our Java playlist, in the last video basically we got introduced to arrays, and we actually created arrays of elementary data type. We saw example of arrays of integers, we saw array of string, okay. We saw few examples. In this particular video I am going to create an array of objects, okay, and it's very important for us to understand, because that really gives us an immense opportunity to exploit the strength of object oriented programming in Java. Okay, so before we actually get into arrays of objects, let me quickly put here or try to remind you how to create an array of an integer. Okay, so basically when I have this particular statement, it really means that, okay, I declare an array, okay, where x is a reference variable, right? Okay, or you can say it as a name of an array. Okay, name of an array of type, okay, integer. Okay, and then what we do in the next statement is we say x is equal to new int 10. So basically this really allocates 10 locations of memory, or we basically can say allocates sufficient memory to store 10 integers. Okay, we know what a keyword new is, okay, and x refers to this new memory location. Okay, now this concept similarly we can try and apply it to object. Okay, so let us say I have a class called cat, okay, and I am going to, or I need to create an array of objects which are of type cat. So how do I do this? So basically I will go, okay, so this says I am creating, okay, or I am defining an array which is of type cat class, okay, and then my cat, right, equals to new, right, cat equals to new cat of say 3. So basically these two statements, okay, creates an array of type cat, and my cat is a class. Okay, now I have still not instantiated the objects. So instantiating the object would be cat of 0 is equal to, okay, new, and then I call the constructor. So this is where my object actually gets instantiated, and my next would be cat of 1 is equal to new, and I call the constructor. So this is how I have instantiated two objects, and they go into basically this particular array. Similarly, I can put cat of 2 equals to new cat. In this way I will go and instantiate the objects within the array. So now, without taking much of the time, let us quickly take a deep dive by writing a very small class, okay, of say type cat, and then create the objects, because I just thought I will kind of introduce you on the board and then take a deep dive into the program. At the end of this video you should be able to create the objects or create an array of objects. Okay, so without taking much of the time, let us start coding in Notepad++. So now what I intend to do is I will be creating a new class, writing the class from the scratch. The basically class name would be cat, okay, and it's something which we have already seen, okay, and then we will try to create a array of objects of type class cat. Okay, so let us quickly go and create a class. Okay, name of the class I have given it cat. I'm using notepad++, so let me quickly go and save it as Java source file, right? So just saving it, fine, okay, and the name is cat. Okay, already exists, fine. I'm going to overwrite it, okay, and then of course my cat has three, basically I intend to keep the instance variables. One is breed, second is color, and third is age, right? And after that I'm just starting with my main public static void main string, right, args begin of main. Now I want to create an array of objects. So let me first define the array here. Okay, so basically here what you see is my cat, okay, is the name of an array. Small cat is a name of an array, okay, and the array is going to be of objects of type cat, right? Now what the next step I intend to do is basically I need to decide the size of an array. So what I will do is cat is equal to new, okay, cat. So my size, I want to keep it a small size of an array. So here this actually says that my array small cat is of size 2. So the first location will be 0, the second location is 1. Now I need to instantiate the objects, okay, and how do I instantiate the object? Basically, so my first location, which is the object, is going to be new, right, new, and then I will call the constructor, and in this case the constructor will be a default constructor, right? And in this way now I have instantiated the objects. The next step would be to actually go well, I can instantiate, I can use default constructors, or I can also go and use the constructors with parameters. So let me first use default constructor to make it easy, right? So 0, and then I can set my instance variables to some value, okay? So cat of 0 dot. So I am setting the instance variable of my object which is at location 0, which is the first location. Subscript is 0, color is, say for example, white, okay, then cat of 0 dot age equals to, say, 2. I'm just going to copy these three things, okay, so that I can go and set the value for second as well. Okay, so 1 1 1. Let me change the actual values. So instead of Persian I am putting CMS, okay, and then instead of white I am just saying black, okay, and then I have age as 3. Okay, now I can actually go and invoke a method, okay, to display the contents. Okay, so I'm saying display info. So this is a simple method which will be invoked, okay, and for the second I am also doing the same thing, right? And just this is the end of my public static void main, and then I will define the method, right? So this method doesn't return any value, and hence it is void. I am not using static word before this method because it is invoked using a object, right? And we have seen when we use static, typically it gets invoked without an object, okay? And breed, right? So I'm just going to copy this system.out.println, right? And color and age, okay? So this is what will print, then end of the method and end of the class, okay? So if you see, it's a very small class which I have developed, but what the intention is to show you how to actually create an array of objects. And look, these are the few statements here which are very, very important, okay, from our perspective, right? Where we can go and create the objects which are part of array, okay? So I'm just saving this, and let me quickly go and compile this, right? It got compiled successfully, and I'm just going to execute the class, okay? And here it goes. So my two objects actually got flushed out, okay? Now let me quickly do some changes, right? So we all know I can actually go and declare a array onto one statement. So instead of this, okay, so I can actually go and have it on a single statement, and this is one and the same thing, okay? So basically I have created an array of name cat, small cat, okay, which is of type capital CAT, which is a class, and the size is nothing but 2 here, okay? And here I have gone and instantiated the objects, okay? Now I can do one thing. Instead of I can actually go and create my own basically constructor, okay? So let me quickly give you that example as well, okay? So I'll just remove this, and here I can go and pass the values as in the constructor, okay? All that we have to do probably is then go and code the constructor, right? So we'll have to add the constructor within our code. So I'm removing this, right? And here I will have to code a constructor. So cat, and then string, so I'm just saying p breed, okay, and string p color, right? And integer int p age, right? Begin, and then all that I have to do is I have to set by instance variables with basically the values that get passed, okay? And age equals to p age, okay? So this is the quick thing. I just thought I will create a constructor of my own as well. Let me quickly save this and see what happens, okay? I'm going to recompile my code, okay, fine, and I'm just going to execute it, okay? Here it goes. So it got executed fine, okay? Second thing which just I wanted to show is probably what I can also do is I can use for here, right? So I'll just declare a variable, say for my subscript here, int I, say for example, and then for, okay, I equals to 0, I is less than 2, and I plus plus, okay, and all that I can do is basically have my display info called within the for loop, right, instead of calling it twice, right? So that's it. Okay, so another way to look at it, yeah, and I'm just going to kind of save it now, okay, and quickly execute, compile it and execute it, right? So let us see if our output matches. It does. So I got the same output that I have seen in the previous two cases. Okay, so a quick program, a small class, just to explain you a concept of creating an array of objects. Hope you understood this well. Okay, if you like this video, do like and share it. Okay, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe it and give me your valuable feedback, which I can probably go and do or take it into the next video that I'm going to kind of create. Okay, so thanks a lot, and in my next video I'm going to basically talk about iterations, control statements, okay, and we will see for, while, do while examples. Thank you.